What are some telltale signs that you are surveilling yourself instead of loving yourself? Let's talk. Hello, my loves, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to tell the difference or how to make a distinction between loving yourself on this journey versus forcing yourself to be a particular type of way. So basically putting yourself under surveillance. That's what I'm going to be referring to it as, is self-surveillance. I think because it's been quite a while for me being on this journey, I've gone through so many different phases of trying to really make that distinction and make sure that I'm enjoying myself instead of forcing myself to go down a path that I don't actually want to go down. Number one, you're not loving yourself, and you know you're under self-surveillance when you are obsessively trying to be productive because you want to prove either to yourself or to other people of your value. And this is a lesson that I learned time and time again, and it's that your worth can never be measured by anything tangible. Like anything that you can touch or hold in your hands, your worth will never be measured by that. Even if you try to get the best bags, have the best hair, the best makeup, you cannot derive your value from those things because those things will leave. The only thing that is certain to stay with you is your morality, the way that you carry yourself and how you treat people and how you treat yourself, everything that's internal, everything you basically can't see. This is such a hard lesson to learn because we are taught collectively as a society that we need to get the best title, we need to work for the best degree, for the best car, for the best house. And it's just a never-ending cycle where you will never be happy that way or satisfied. And I swear to you, anytime now that I buy something that's material or I do something, get my nails done, get my hair done, yes, it feels nice 100%. And I think that pampering yourself goes a long way because it reflects on your internal too. But I no longer feel any sort of shift. I don't get any dopamine really. I enjoy it and I might, try to appreciate it for what it is in this moment. But I realized very quickly though, that this doesn't say anything about my value, and that's why I detach from it, and that is a happy way to live because I live so much happier that way, I promise. Number two, you know that you are not loving yourself and you are under self-surveillance when you still believe there's a destination to arrive at. I don't think that self-development is the right word to use on my channel, to be honest. I just use it because I think it's like internationally known as like, yes, you develop yourself. But if anything, I think I would call it return to self. That's what we're doing. And that's what I try to teach on my channel. That's the only thing that I want to teach on my channel is how to return back to your true self. We are everything and more until we are taught that we are not. And that is when the problem starts. And that's when you start to attach yourself to external things, other people. I'm trying to teach on my channel how to go back to the soul because that is what I'm trying to teach myself. In my life, that is the thing that stands out amongst everything else is like, I know that everything that I've been told about myself is a lie, and you should believe the same thing too. Everything that you've been told about yourself is a lie, and I want to recreate myself in a way that makes sense to me. I don't want to stick to whatever labels people gave me growing up. This shift happened for me, or this awareness came to me when I realized I wasn't actually living in the present moment. Like I was always trying to get from point A to point B. And I know it's a very common thing, but it shouldn't be. Like that shouldn't be normalized to always have to have somewhere to go. But where are you actually going? This is the question that really made me take a step back and look at myself. Perfect example is this book that I'm reading right now. It's called Pieces Every Step. My best friend actually got this for my birthday, but I've been reading it and he talks about the fact that a lot of us arrive at red lights and it's like our enemy. We arrive at a red light and we're like, oh crap, I'm at a red light. It's like, it's become this thing that teaches us that, oh no, this is the obstacle that comes in the way of me getting from point A to point B, but where are you actually going? When you think about it, like nobody's going anywhere anymore. And nobody's actually living here anymore, like in the present moment. And that's why I'm trying to prioritize it so much in my life. And it has brought me so much peace. Like I feel so much more calmer as a result of just trying to embrace every single moment as it is, instead of worrying about all this other stuff and then having so many thoughts about things that actually don't matter in the end. Number three, you know you're not loving yourself and you are under extreme self-surveillance when you force yourself to stick to routine instead of enjoying your routine as a lifestyle. Meditation really became that for me, and it was so unfortunate, but I started hating sitting down to practice because I would force myself, in the beginning when I was starting to get into it, I would force myself to sit down every time. And although, yes, it's good to be consistent with this type of practice because obviously you can't become a master at it unless you learn to sit down every single time, regardless of the state or the mood that you're in. That being said, I was starting to make it a chore instead of something that was simply enjoyable. And I almost made it a thing that I just had to check off my to-do list, but I would never actually be present while I was sitting down. And that is what really bothered me, because it felt like no matter how much I meditated, it didn't make any difference in my mood or my mindset because I was viewing it in such a bad light. And I did that to myself by forcing myself to do it. And now, although sometimes I might miss meditations, it's not just another thing that I want to tick off on my to-do list, but it's actually something that I know is going to bring me so much more peace. It makes it a lot easier for me to go about my day having that awareness. And the funny thing is, I realize most of all that actually the real meditation starts when you leave your chair. It's not the 15 minutes that you sit down, it's not the 20 minutes that you sit down to meditate. Yes, you're focused, but how focused can you be when you're around other people and when there's noise around you, right? Number 4, your authenticity is unknown to you. In other words, you don't know yourself. So you know that you're not living life in a way that's enjoyable to you when your authenticity is unknown to you. You don't know what the purest form of you looks like, and so you are questioning constantly who you are as a person, and you don't show up as who you truly are. Alignment on this journey is a very crucial aspect, and I talked about this before, where I was doing the meditations before, I was doing, the workouts and the yoga, but I was around the wrong people, and I had certain habits that were so heavy on me, like let's say vices and going out and partying and whatever, that would counteract everything else that I was doing. So I was like serving two masters in a way when you think about it, because I had one foot in each side of the world, it almost felt like, because I was like doing the partying and doing the vices and doing all this and being around people who obviously didn't serve me, and I knew that, but I didn't choose to believe it at the time. And then doing the workouts and the meditations and thinking that it would be balance, and that is not balance, unfortunately. And obviously you can do it and you can distribute those things in different ways if that's what you want to do with your life, right? Because I've really learned to have true balance right now, but it obviously leans predominantly towards my values and the way I want to live my life as a lifestyle. It's like, which one would you rather make a lifestyle? That's what you have to focus more on. But anyways, yeah, I was out of alignment, and I was really unhappy, and I was questioning, but I'm doing all the work, so why is nothing changing? Why is nothing happening? And that is the questions that you really need to ask yourself: is, are you fully in alignment? And are you pretending to be somebody that you're not? Because pretend to be somebody that you're not for long enough and you will become miserable. If the day has not arrived yet, it will. It happened to me, and it's still happening to me. I think we're in constant transformation. Obviously, there's gonna come a day when you get very sick of it. So you might as well just try and get to know yourself now and show up as who you are. There are people out there that are gonna ridicule you and say things about you anyway. So it's like, what's the point? I honestly, when I go on social media, especially because I used to have an issue with this, I'd be really conscious about what I'm posting because of how many people are watching it. But now, this is the most amount of people that have ever watched my social media, which obviously is not that much. I'm no longer thinking about what others are going to think of me. Instead, my thought process behind it is like, is this me? Am I posting something with intentionality? Am I doing it from a place that's coming from my authenticity and not from what other people, how I want other people to see me? You know what I mean? Number 5, the thought of being who you truly are makes you cringe. I think caring what other people think is a very natural part of being human, despite what other people say about it. But that being said, it can be unlearned and it can be rewired. I think that if you can spend the time to try and unlearn the need to care so much about what other people think of you, then you will live a happier life as a result. So why wouldn't you try to pick up that skill? It honestly is a skill because it's very hard. I guess for me, like, it took some time to make that transition, but I think it happened naturally as I was trying to align other aspects of my life. Me not caring what anybody thought of me was just a natural part of that. It was just a byproduct. I decided I didn't want to be the person that everybody expected me to be anymore, essentially, and that's when the real changes really started happening. Number 6, you know that you are under extreme self-surveillance and not loving yourself when life isn't real to you anymore. Like, nothing is real. You don't get excited about small things, flowers, the sun, nature, the smallest things. You just don't get excited about it anymore. You don't stop to reflect on mistakes in your life that you've made, or even worse, you don't forgive yourself for them anymore. That one's a lot worse. I think when I start to live moment to moment and I zoom out and I see everybody else that's kind of just like running around trying to get from point A to point B, I can see myself in them as well too. But I'm just like, wow, that's actually really, it's really sad when you think about it. We already live in obviously the digital age where everything is very like on screen and artificial and things like that. So, but we have become that way too. Like as that has developed, we have also developed in that way where nothing is real anymore. The thing that adds realness to life is presence and is being able to stay in this moment, breathe and enjoy life. I love breathing. I live to breathe. And I'm so grateful for the fact that I've just been able to discover something like that at a young age, because if I didn't have it, I think I would have gone down a really different path, if I'm being honest. Number 7, last one. You no longer feel like the creator of your reality. Instead, you feel like life is happening to you instead of for you. And this is something that you want to prevent from happening ever. Everything that happens in your life makes you feel like it was beyond your control and that it wasn't your doing. And although some things are, because this is just the natural order of life, this is just the way the universe works, some things happen and it wasn't you, it wasn't somebody else mirroring you, it was just the gods, it was just the universe, it was just nature. Those things happen, you let go of what you cannot control, right? And you only focus on what you can. But the ability to creatively orchestrate our lives is the most beautiful ability that we have. And when we forget about that, we stop being in our creative nature and we stop creating, essentially. But we have to create. It's in our nature to create. When you stop believing that, you stop creating magic, and that is where the problem truly begins. Anyways, just breathe. Everything's gonna be okay. Just breathe. Sun is shining. You are gorgeous. You are a goddess. Okay? I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one.